Many years before accepting Islam, Hazrat Umar bin Khattab embarked on a journey to Syria with his business caravan. Among the caravan were several prominent Quraysh leaders. Upon reaching Damascus, the largest city in Syria, they sold their goods and began their return journey to Mecca. However, shortly after departing, Hazrat Umar remembered a promise he had made to a relative, to sell some gold and purchase clothes on her behalf. Determined to fulfill his promise, he informed his guards that he would return to Damascus briefly and work for a woman. He assured them that he would rejoin them soon. When Hazrat Umar arrived back in Damascus, he found the market closed and was forced to stay overnight in a humble guest house and slept. In the quiet of the night, a man of God entered the guest house and awakened Hazrat Umar. Though it was unclear whether this man knew Umar or was acquainted with his family, he invited him to his home and took great care of him. After sharing a meal, Hazrat Umar slept, while his host spent the night in prayer. At dawn, the man advised Hazrat Umar not to venture to the market alone, warning of the robbers who often targeted travelers. Exhausted from his prayers, the host fell asleep, but Hazrat Umar, not wanting to disturb him, decided to go to the market by himself. The market had not yet opened when Hazrat Umar arrived. As he waited, a Christian priest arrived with his servants, pointed at Hazrat Umar, and ordered them to seize him. The priest took him to an old shrine, handed him a hammer, and instructed him to work on the shrine's wall, seemingly planning to renovate it. Hazrat Umar toiled the entire day and returned to the guest house, fatigued. His kind host, who had awoken by then, asked where he had been. Upon hearing Umar's story, the host took him back in, urging him to wait until morning to accompany him to the market. The following day, Hazrat Umar awoke to find his host still sleeping. Reluctant to wake him, he again went to the market alone. By chance, the same priest appeared with his servants and forcibly took Hazrat Umar back to the shrine. Despite his growing anger, Hazrat Umar felt powerless against the armed priest and his 7 or 8 servants with arms. He spent the day breaking the shrine's wall until, at midday, the priest returned, saw Umar resting, and struck him on the head with a whip, accusing him of abandoning his work. Overwhelmed by the injustice, Hazrat Umar retaliated, pulling the priest from his horse and striking him with his fists. The priest cried out, but no one came to his aid. Umar, in a fit of rage, picked up a heavy piece of the broken wall and struck the priest, leaving him severely injured. Realizing the gravity of his actions, Hazrat Umar fled the scene, avoiding the main road and taking a different route out of the city. Far from Damascus, he encountered a nomad who was from Rome. They walked together, but neither could understand the other's language. Sensing danger, Umar noticed the nomad reaching for his sword. Quick to act, Umar disarmed the nomad and, with a single blow, struck him down. He then rode on his mule and continued his journey. Hazrat Umar later recounted that after leaving that place, he arrived at a village inhabited by Christians. The villagers, noticing his fear, took him to their priest. The priest, observing Umar carefully, offered him refuge, assuring him that he was safe under their protection. Umar stayed as a guest, enjoying the priest's hospitality, but when asked about his identity, he disclosed that he was from Mecca and belonged to the Quraysh tribe. He explained that he had come to Syria with a trade caravan but had taken a detour to Damascus for an important errand. The priest listened intently and, after a while, presented Umar with a beautiful and high-speed donkey laden with food items and valuable gifts. He instructed Umar to ride the donkey and assured him that if he encountered any Christians along the way, they would treat him well because of the priest's favor. The priest took Hazrat Umar alone and said to him, "O Umar, my right has become obligatory on you." Umar said, "Of course." He said, "You belong to a respectable family. I have a motive for you." Umar said, "You can explain it, but it is surprising that a big man like you has a motive for a troubled traveler like me. He said in a very confident tone, "Listen, I am a man who has been given the knowledge of the heavenly books by Allah." Before Umar departed, the priest confided in him, saying, "O Umar, I see signs in you that indicate a great change is coming. You will one day rule over our lands and many cities." After that, the priest took out a pen and paper from his pocket and said that I want you to write on this paper that no tax of any kind will be applied to this church and its property. Hazrat Umar was surprised and said to the priest, "You are not joking with me." He said, "By the one who revealed the gospel to Jesus. What I am saying is absolutely true. Please accept my request." Hazrat Umar considered the priest's words as his illusion. Hazrat Umar, skeptical but respectful, wrote down a note as the priest requested and departed on the donkey. Along the way, he met several Christian groups who, recognizing the priest's donkey, treated him with kindness. Eventually, Umar reached Tabuk, where his caravan, led by fellow Quraysh leaders, was waiting. They welcomed him warmly, though they had been worried about his absence. One of the leaders, Abu Sufyan, commented on the grandeur of the donkey, noting Umar's resourcefulness. Following the priest's instructions, Umar tied the donkey securely and left it behind, despite Abu Sufyan's concerns about thieves in the area. Hazrat Umar told him that the owner of that donkey had instructed me to do the same. The conversation that took place between Hazrat Umar and the priest in solitude, he did not tell anyone. When they returned to Mecca, Hazrat Umar kept the priest's words to himself for many days, thinking them to be mere delusions. However, he confided in a wise relative, a woman who had seen signs of greatness in him since childhood. She recounted a dream where Umar's stature grew so tall it touched the sky, a vision she interpreted as a sign of his future greatness. In Mecca, Hazrat Umar sought out a learned man from the people of the book, a scholar respected by some of the Quraysh. One day at noon I went to him and told him that I want to talk to you about a few things and I want you to keep them secret in your heart and not reveal them to anyone. He promised to do the same. He shared the details of his journey and his relative's dream. The scholar listened carefully and confirmed the priest's prophecy, predicting a great revolution in Mecca that would change the world. Shortly afterward, Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him began to spread the message of Islam, which aligned with the predictions made by the priest. By the 6th year of prophethood, Hazrat Umar embraced Islam, becoming one of Prophet Muhammad's closest companions. In the 11th year of the prophethood, after Prophet Muhammad's passing, Hazrat Abu Bakr became the first Caliph of the Muslims. When Hazrat Abu Bakr passed away in the 13th year of the prophethood, Hazrat Umar succeeded him as Caliph. Years later, during his caliphate, Hazrat Umar returned to Syria. An old man, his hair white as snow, approached him with a Christian congregation and said, "O Amirul Mu'minin, do you recognize me?" Hazrat Umar replied, "If you are the priest from that town, then yes, I recognize you." The priest confirmed his identity, and Hazrat Umar said, "The pledge I made to you still stands. Allah has honored us through His messenger, and we have embraced the religion He favors. You foresaw these events. What stops you from accepting Islam and attaining its blessings?" At that time, the old priest took a pledge to accept Islam after hearing the words of Hazrat Umar, and at that time he became a Muslim after reading the Kalma. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like it and share it with others. Your support helps us reach more people with valuable content. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for being a part of our community.